You are listening to Nerd Best Friends, a podcast that covers the nerdy conversations you're already having, or wish you could. It's the nerdiest thing you'll do this week.
I'm Rob.
I'm Annalise.
And I'm Dr. Intern Joan.
And we are your nerd best friends.
Hold on, nerds. This is your preview episode for Season 5. Let's go.
Season 5, Annalise. Season 5.
Can you believe it? 5 years of Nerd Best Friends and over 30 years with my Nerd Best Friend, but
it's pretty exciting. It's exciting to think that 5 years. It's also exciting to think that I'm pretty sure plan is by the end of the season, we are going to hit episode 100.
Oh yes, we're hitting official episode 100, and I'm jumping ahead here, but episode 88 is going to be a thing. We could talk about that later. I also want to mention, like we say a lot. Rob, we've known each other for well over 30 years now. Oh, we're right on the precipice of 30 years as well.
It's true.
Wild.
Show has come a long way in those intervening years, and certainly the presence of Intern Joan has helped that survivability. It was just a wild card we needed, Joan, to get re-excited and keep going.
Well, I appreciate it, and I am looking forward to being behind the scenes more in season 5 and not quite up front.
Yeah,
it's just going to be a real treat when you are able to be on the show.
I think looking back, the Nerdstalgia episodes we did this summer was really helpful for me to realize, one, how far we've come, and two, like, we've done some pretty cool episodes in the past. I'm really happy with guests we've had, and I'm really excited for guests we're going to have this season and getting to nerd out with people.
Yes, that's something to look forward to. Season 5 is making new friends and discovering new podcasts.
So let's start our preview episode here with what is going to be the biggest change to Nerd Best Friends this season. It is a big announcement, Rob. Would you like to make the announcement?
I want you to make the announcement.
Okay. Well, our biggest change to season 5 is when we created Nerd Best Friends, Rob, you and I were really worried about being able to continue the podcast and our regular jobs. Fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because of that, we decided to have episodes every other week. But now we are really hitting the ground running. We have figured out an algorithm. Dr. Intern Joan has changed how we function as a podcast group. And because of that, we are changing this year to weekly episodes. So we're going to be bringing nerdiness every single week for our podcast.
Weekly episodes is a big deal, and that's very exciting because we're trying to bring more value to our listeners. We thrive on feedback, and we have a lot of enthusiasm because, just like you said, things have been rolling. We're making new friends. We're having new followers, and that feedback has really wanted us to just push more effort into the show for y'all.
And we're right in that age range, right? We're right in that age range right now. And we talked about it over the summer in a bunch of episodes where everything nerdy is coming back up, being rebooted, being recast, being redone. And it's all the stuff that we love. So I know one of the things I was worried about, like, if we go to a weekly format, are we going to have enough to talk about? I think you had the same thought when we were planning out the season. It was super easy to double up all of our episodes and topics and continue the ones that our listeners love, like nerd watching and the nerd movie reviews and top fives are some of our listeners' favorite episodes. We're able to do those and more. And I'm really excited for this season.
I think it's also going to be a lot of fun, a lot of things that we've been putting into those every other weeks to fill up the entire schedule are things like the trivia games and things that we can do with live listeners in the chat room and those kinds of ideas. So more fun, more energy, more shows. Season 5.
So let's talk about that real quick. Is there an episode, Joan, Dr. Intern Joan, and Rob, is there an episode or two that you're really looking forward to that we've planned and you'd like to give a heads up to our listeners?
I'll go first. This summer, watched Neverending Story for the first time.
Yeah.
And you are both going to now watch Return to Oz for the first time, and we're going to be reviewing it and talking about it. The glorious 85 Return to Oz, which is the lesser known sequel.
That's
to
incredible.
To Wizard of Oz.
I love that for you because I love it for me. I had a wonderful time in the Never Ending Story episode because I got to share that with my friends. So I will, I'm excited for you to have that experience and bring that energy to you in one of your favorite old movies.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I've never seen it. I've never watched it. I know the whole Oz story is like 8 books long or whatever, and we really only know one of those 8. So I'm excited to dig into that franchise a little bit deeper than I ever have.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, one of the things, along with that vein is kind of sharing those things with my friends that I hope everybody loves. So I'm very much looking forward to a book club episode that we're doing on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, because I think you guys are going to love that book. Everybody's talking about it in the aftermath of the James Gunn Superman movie. So that'll be fun. I think a lot of people will read that and hopefully we get some real good engagement there. And then right around those lines is every season we choose a superhero. And this season, the superhero we're going to do a deep dive on is Daredevil. And so that's going to be another opportunity to like have the fun of really narrowing down and be like, okay, I'm presenting this to all my friends. What are those 2 or 3 books that are the quintessential Daredevil that we're going to talk about and get that background? I'm very much looking forward to our superhero episode in season 5. Daredevil.
You're going to want to join Patreon for that. There's going to be some exclusive content. I'm going to create a reading guide for the book club. We'll make a list of Rob's favorite comics that you have to read for Daredevil. There's never been a better time to be a Patreon subscriber.
If you haven't been a Patreon subscriber and you come to us now, there's already a reading guide from our Chew episode this summer. And that Chew episode came out at the end of May. That reading guide that Dr. and Joan made is phenomenal. I know Rob had already read Chew, but still used the reading guide to prepare for that episode. Yeah, those reading guides that Dr. and Joan's making are phenomenal, and you're going to want to get access to those. Good call there. I'm going to go and say 2 things. One, we have a really exciting slate of guests from different nerdisms across all the things and great connections we've been making on our social media and people coming forward saying, I love your show. I want to be on your show. Like, let's do it. And we're going to guest on other shows too. So I'm excited about that. I am also very excited. So second half of our season happens after the new year, and it just so happens to be 2026 coming up. And that's an important year for myself and Joan. That is, one, it's our 30th high school reunion. We graduated in 1996, which also means it's the year Joan and I met in the fall of 96 for when we were freshmen in college and in the marching band at USC. So I am very much looking forward to our 30s episode. I think it's easily become my favorite episode the last 2 seasons that we've done it. And now 96 is, I'm going to go all out with the nostalgia, nerdstalgia, and all the nerdiness that was happening when I was 17 years old, about to enter college. I'm really looking forward to the 30s episode and to look back at 1996, which it's also really weird to say is 30 years ago, because I definitely do not feel like I graduated high school 30 years ago.
You guys going to Romeo and Michelle it just all season long?
My goodness.
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? Yeah, maybe we'll bring on a bunch of guests for the 30s. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be crazy, but we have it scheduled in that episode will come out in March. So I'm excited for that one. Also, just on a personal level, The Long Walk comes out September 12th. We're so close to that date. I am counting down the days. I'm counting down to seeing it in a fancy movie theater in Washington with Dr. Intern Joan. I'm so excited. The episode, our nerd movie review, is going to be fun, but I am so looking forward to watching The Long Walk after, again, I read it at 14 and I'm listening to it now in audiobook. I haven't reread it in a long time, but 33 years later, this movie's been playing in my head and I'm going to get to watch it on a screen. So I'm excited.
I chose that book as my first one to do immersive reading with. So I have my colored tabs, identifying characters and making notes. And I'm deep diving as my new cozy hobby as immersive reading. A Long Walk, first book.
And depending on the version you get, there should be an opening by Stephen King about why he was Richard Bachman and what happened and how he feels about it. I just listened to the author's opening this morning, and yeah, it's good stuff about why he was Richard Bachman. But I'm excited. Anything else you want to mention to season 5, Rob?
Yeah, I'm going to change gears a little bit from the episodes and say that you can definitely look forward to more social media, more opportunities to interact with the group, interact with your nerd best friends and each other. I will say behind the scenes stuff, going in, we always do a business meeting and a business review between the seasons, but I will say that this year's going into season 5 has been the most structured, the most robust, really looking at our operations and trying to bring the best content we can to you. And so you will notice a big effort in that engagement on all of your social medias where you can follow us as well.
Let's talk about that real quick, Rob, where people can follow us. We are definitely on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and TikTok. And our handle is @NerdBestFriends. And then we've said plenty of times, but just as a reminder, or for new listeners, that handle could not work on Blue Sky. So at Blue Sky, Rob, we are
NBF Podcast.
Any underscore, or is it just NBF Podcast?
Nope, it's just NBF
Perfect.
Podcast.
Yeah, Blue Sky.
Social.
Blue Sky didn't like the title Nerd Best Friends, said it was too long, so we had to get a little creative with it. We also have our website. Website's a great place to get all the things. That's nerdbestfriends.com. And reach out to us on any of those formats or an email, podcast@nerdbestfriends.com. Now that we have also figured out how Dr. Intern Joan can answer those emails in a more timely manner than myself or Rob. So yeah, I think Joan said it greatly. It's never been a better time to be a Patreon. It's also never been a better time to be a fan of Nerd Best Friends. It's just really going to be a really good season. That being said, let's talk about Patreons real quick. Now that we have weekly episodes, our Patreons are getting 2 very particular things. One, they are getting early access to the episodes. They'll be getting episodes on Mondays. Everyone else will get the episodes on Wednesdays. The second thing that I'm really excited for, our Patreons will get an exclusive link on recording days. So we're gonna throw out some recording days just a little bit at a time because ultimately life and work and jobs get in the way. We sometimes have to reschedule. So we're not going to give you our whole recording schedule, but we'll give you a month ahead of time. And our Patreons, the morning of recording dates, you're going to get a link to join us live in the studio and interact with us and chat with us as we're recording our episodes.
That's a huge change. And that's something I'm very much looking forward to is we love our nerd mail and we love the actually comments, but to be able to follow a live chat and have somebody help us with, listen, Annalise does an amazing job editing this show, but the behind the scenes is absolutely me like, what's that person's name again? And why can't I remember who that is? And I'm like Googling stuff. There's all this noise of like keyboards blathering. Imagine a chat room where you just be like, hey, dummy, that's Dan Aykroyd or whatever it was supposed to be.
Ben Affleck is the answer. You know, the guy in the thing with the movie and the I wish I could quit you and he's with the hat and the thing and the what was his name?
That's how it
he
goes
played the Joker
every time.
Yeah, that's how it is. So yes, and the live chat was, I want to shout out to 2 of our Patreon and one past guest, Juliana and...
See, if he was here, Josh could just type his name in the chat.
I was going to say Jeff, but I'm crossing spouses here.
We would have caused some trouble.
Don't cross the streams.
Who the hell's Jeff?
Don't cross streams. I want to give a shout out to 2 of our Patreons who helped us set this up by joining us for a live episode over the summer. And that's Josh and Juliana. So thank you to them for showing us what that looked like and joining us for some recording and being able to bag on us while we were recording live. It was great. And we want more of that. So our Patreons are going to get a link on recording days to join us in the studio. And who knows, maybe even join us in an episode. That's TBD. Of course, Patreon subscribers will also get any bonuses that Dr. Intern Joan makes, like reading guides and other posts along those lines, all the exclusive access for Patreon subscribers. So
the holiday gift guide.
The holiday gift guide was a thing.
Catalog of things you can buy direct from our Amazon account.
For your nerd friends. Nerd shopping. Yes, that gift guide last year was off the hook. It's going to be even better this year. And that comes out early December, late November for Patreon subscribers and alongside the episode so that you can get your nerd friends cool things. Okay, just real quick. This was our most involved summer between Nerdstalgia episodes and actually doing stuff. I just want to name it because we did some pretty amazing things this summer. We did a book club. summer's a perfect time to do a book club. And for me and Rob, it was a reread, or for all three of us, it was a reread of Chew, but great episode. Joan watching The Neverending Story for the first time, having that episode. Of course, Rob going to Hellmouth Con and hosting a panel at Hellmouth Con and attempting to generate a live episode. We attempted. It was good. It was a good panel. I mean, we have some newsletter subscribers and new listeners to the show, and we sent out a ton of our Buffy D&D player sheets. And speaking, by the way, if you were someone who received those sheets and you're listening to this episode now, we would love to hear how it's gone in a game. Please give us some feedback. Podcast@nerdbestfriends.com. Let us know how that is going. If you've played those characters
that to anything. If you've ever done a Buffy role-playing game or Buffy version of D&D, or you've reskinned something and used Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'd be very interested to know what you did, how it worked. So we can open that up even further if you don't mind.
Not at all. Let us know how all of that's going as we prep for what Hellmouth Con 2026 might look like and our involvement in it, which Hellmouth Events announced at San Diego Comic Con that Charisma Carpenter is going to be there this year. So that's huge. I know she's got her podcast titled Bitches Back, and she's doing a Buffy rewatch, but she's doing parts of it as Cordelia, is my understanding. I've only seen clips. I've not gone and listened to episodes yet, but she's responding as Cordelia. She's got guests on her show. It's going really great. She's hosting a whole big thing. She calls her Patreon followers The Firm, and she's hosting like an in-person event with members of her Patreon. So she's really diving into the Buffy nerdism, and she's going to be at HellmouthCon 2026. So that's kind of exciting. Also this summer, we went and saw the Superman movie, one of the big summer blockbusters, if not the biggest summer blockbuster we've had in years. Had an episode about that. We played the Great Goblin Argle Bargle, and that episode came out and is amazing. And of course, here we are taking these, what I find are very strong, nerdy episodes, and we're now sprinkling that over a whole season.
You know, that's very interesting. I guess I was having so much fun. I didn't realize that those were all extra summer episodes, but that was a lot. And in fact, I'll be contacting my union rep because I was supposed to be on summer vacation.
Your management now, you don't get summer vacation, A, and B, contact yourself since you won the company during our trivia episode.
I never should have won the company in that trivia game.
I forgot to even mention the trivia episode since there weren't Olympics to nerd out over. Like last summer, we nerded out over breakdancing in the Olympics. There were no Olympics, so we made our own with Nerd Trivia. You won the company. Email yourself.
Oh, shoot.
So that was the summer, and now we're getting into season 5, and I'm really looking forward to engaging with our listeners more, finding new nerds, expanding the nerd herd, and really I have a good feeling. My instinct area has a good feeling about how much fun we're going to have. Summer was any indication.
Where's your instinct area?
Hey, Jen, how's your instinct area?
Kind of belly,
instinct
lung area.
I don't have to worry about asking that question because
chakra?
I'm HR now.
My instinct area.
Like my
belly.
eyes got big and I looked over at Joan and she gave one of those like a cocker spaniel like head nod like.
You're all jealous that you don't have it.
I want it, okay? If that's what it feels like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I feel tingling in my instinct area.
Eyes are watering. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. You know, we are going to have an episode about the 1970s. We could talk about that Different Strokes episode where somebody took pictures of Arnold's instinct area.
Yeah.
Mr. Trem and the guy at the bicycle shop took a picture of my instinct area on a very special episode of Nerd Best Friends.
It's okay, Annalise.
I didn't want to say my belly. I could feel it in my belly. It sounded worse.
You've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
This is great.
We're at the end of summer. Season 5 starts September 3rd, so just a few weeks from now. We have one more Nerdstalgia episode in between. That is looking back since band camps are alive and plenty right now. We are being nerdstalgic over our marching band episode with Adam. That's next week. And then the week after that, season 5 starts. So as we close the summer, Dr. Intern Joan, what's the nerdiest thing you did this week?
I am knee deep in waffles for Esther.
Yeah, you are.
I have
Knee
created
deep in waffles over here.
knee deep in waffles. I have
Woo!
created my character, drawn the map of the town with all of the locations I will be visiting, and gathered my dice and a deck of cards. For some reason, I need a deck of cards to play this game. So now I'm ready to dive into my adventure and investigate this kidnapping or whatever's going on.
I cannot wait to see how this game goes for you. Maybe we can convince you to do a mini blog or something so that our listeners can follow along.
You know, I wanted to buy one of those lights that can like show what I'm doing and I can like go through a round of it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really interested in the mechanic of making the map. I think I've seen that in other RPGs where it's like the players will come together and they'll build the world as far as like, okay, this is a town in Indiana. What kind of thing, what's the mainstay? Where does your character hang out? Where does your character hang out? Where is the place of authority? Like, I don't know, but I haven't played in many of those. Do you mind telling me a little bit more about the map mechanic?
Sure, it was an optional thing, but I saw online and I'd have to look at how they drew theirs out. But I watch way too much HGTV and there's this show called Hometown Makeover or Hometown something. And they most recently did a town circle where there's a park in the middle and then there's spokes coming off of the thing. So my town has a park in the middle and then has spokes off, and I put like the creepy warehouse way out of town, and I put the funeral home and the church next to each other because that makes sense. So I just placed it along places that make sense.
And was there a list that said, you're designing your town and you need a warehouse, a funeral? Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Very cool. I wonder how that will affect in the game with that optional rule when your character has to go from the warehouse to the school and you drew it all the way across town. And like, that sounds really fun. Very cool.
I'll keep you updated.
So cool. Hey, Rob, what's the nerdiest thing you did this week?
I had a lot of fun this week with a nerdy thing. Talked about from the onset, one of the nerd hobbies that I have is collecting digital badges related to craft beer. I use the Untapped app. I've been on it for over 10 years. We have made purposeful like trips to different places across the United States to try different like micro breweries and see different things. We've even had full episodes on brewery vibes and different kinds of beers and things like that. It's certainly one of my hobbies. And one of the things that you can do in Untapped is called New Brew Thursday. And the idea is, for who knows what reason, they decided to push the agenda of people should drink beer on Thursdays. Beer, not just for the weekends anymore. So to get the levels of this badge, you have to drink basically 3 beers on Thursday a month, right? So this was something that my group of friends that we have on Untapped looked at and we said, you know what? That's a challenging one to get, but it's going to keep us invested. It's going to keep us going to stores. It's going to keep us trying new things. It's going to be an excuse in the middle of the week to like go someplace, meet up for a beer and have some fun. And so for months and months and months, over
now
like
years,
couple years,
yeah,
we have been purposefully like, well, we have a message group called New Brew Thursday, so we can remind each other, oh, don't forget it's Thursday. Did you check a beer? And what happened was the group of 3 of us, we got to level 99. I think it was Juliana first, and it was like, okay, stop, pause, hang on. Yeah. And then I caught up a couple weeks later, and then Maria caught up a couple weeks later. So we were all on hold for level 99. And then we said, okay, we've got 3 weeks and we're going to hit level 100 on that 3rd one. So what was fun about that is we decided for the last month, we would hang out together. So we met every Thursday up to the final Thursday, which was this last Thursday. We all met up at one of our favorite breweries, got new beers and sat around the table and toasted each other, and everybody 1, 2, 3 and clicked the app and all hit level 100 at the same time. And that's pretty nerdy.
Oh, that super nerdy.
Very nerdy.
And to be very clear, if the listeners didn't follow, Untapped gamifies your craft brew nerdism, and you had to check in by New Brew. You had to check in a beer that you hadn't checked in before.
Right. That's the new part.
Right.
Yes.
So every 3 of those, every 3 Thursdays got you 1 level. Right.
Which means that was 300
beers,
craft beers on Thursdays.
On Thursdays.
Specifically. Yes.
And if you missed 2 weeks in a row, it reset. So you might have
Yes.
had more than 300 new ones. But
that's how we kind of got off a little and had to
Yeah.
wait weeks for everybody to catch up, but
Right.
not a lot. So it was very cool. It was very fun, very nerdy. Like the dude who was bringing us our beers at the brewery thought we were just, I don't know what he thought of us, but he was not.
You were celebrating something.
We were trying to tell him, like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to engage this dude and tell him how much we like his beer and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I got to,
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
take fish sticks to this other table, like whatever. So,
Fish
but
stick.
we had fun. And Untapped, yeah, man, Robo22 on Untapped. If you want to be friends with me there, I'll accept all comers. Let's go.
Now you got to find the next nerdy badge you got to get.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Unless
I don't know.
Untapped starts to go above level 100, which it doesn't really. It
Well,
stops at 100. So
Yeah, hopefully not. I think it's better to find a new challenge.
new challenge.
And Untapped is not a sponsor. And if they do sponsor podcasts, look us up, Untapped.
That's true.
Boom.
I've definitely mentioned that this app that doesn't pay us at least 10 times over the last 5 seasons.
And for what it's worth, it's fun. It's like social media within itself that you put pictures up of where you're at, what you're doing, and you can go and toast it instead of like it. You can comment on people's things. And what I like about it is since Rob has been doing this challenge, what's been really cool is when I've traveled somewhere and I see a fridge of craft beer, I can go into Untapped and see whether or not he's had it. So I know for a bunch of like holidays or birthdays, you've received from me, a 4-pack or a 6-pack of something that you could put in your fridge as a new brew. So
Absolutely.
now that that's over, that's sad. But Untapped,
You're off the hook.
I mean, I might still do it, which is fun to like, hey, I went to Utah and here's a brew you haven't tried yet. Like to be able to see that is really, really helpful. And then for myself, if I'm having a drink, I can look like, oh, I've had this before and I didn't like it, so I'm not going to order it. So
that's another benefit of having it on there and having friends on there. It's like some people will have like movie reviewers that they go to because they know they either have the same taste as them or the completely opposite taste of them in movies.
Right.
You could do that with Untapped. If you kind of learn like, oh, it looks like Rob likes strong hoppy IPAs. I hate those. So let me look at the ones Rob gave 1s to. I'm going to get those.
I'm going to love those.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, the nerdiest thing I did this week was visit my friendly local game store and picked up a couple of things to kind of jump back into mini painting because of all those Marvel zombies that have been slap chopped and they've just been sitting in a box. But one of the things that happened is I started painting some soldier guys and I had this like really nice blue to their armor and got some really good color and some dry brush over that. And then they had some like clothing type material stick out from different places. And I went for something just to contrast that without being too bright. And it was a purplish color that I had and it came out pink and I didn't like it. And they've just been sitting there with those pink pants. So I went out and got a darker color contrast Leviathan purple.
Leviathan. It's a word from the
purple.
Bible.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I picked up some contrast colors and I also picked up a green, the Dark Angel green, which is, I have a light neon-y green and I have like a really military, fatigue green.
Like a drab.
This is in between those. So it doesn't look so dark and military, but it's not neon. So I picked up a couple of new paints to help kickstart that back in. I picked up some more brushes because I have all of season 3 of Final Girl that's sitting waiting to be primed. And I'm going to paint them much brighter now that I got to do that with the Goblin Army and really got to pull bright yellows and bright oranges and bright whites out of that Goblin Army. I'm looking forward to, reopening the painting table as we start the school year. Maybe if I can do it, maybe I pick a day once a month that I kind of take paints out and just paint a bunch that weekend and then it'll go away for a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the flow is going to be yet, but it's in my personal goals. And so it's always good visiting your FLGS, your friendly local game store, and supporting them in town. Here in Ukiah, it is Sword and Board, and they are great, and they have a little membership. So after so many dollars I spend, I get like $10 off. So good stuff there at Sword and Board, and lots of games that I was also interested in buying, but I didn't buy. I have too many that don't play.
Go ahead, Judd.
Gotta go to Sword and Board. Get some games, get some paints.
And sponsor us.
And sponsor us. Sword and Board, what's up?
You were talking about your minis and it reminded me of a 40-year-old version when he's Like painting a scene. He's
I
like,
am
hey,
taking-
Mr. Blue Pants.
I am taking your silver pants and painting them blue.
Yep,
Yes.
and I was thinking about you. Your poor Minnie sitting there with pink pants. And you're just like, I can't even talk to these guys with their pink pants.
They're put away in the closet. I can't look at them. Yes, I think about that montage a lot. More than I should.
More than I should. It's
And
a
especially
problem.
when people say, hey, what kinds of things you like to do? I think about that scene. Like, you should just watch this scene. Marching around with a baritone, playing video games by yourself, reading comics and laughing by yourself, mini painting. Oh, he's playing karaoke on
That's
his
right.
like PS3 or whatever it is. It's not PS2. That's the life.
Yep. Living the best
Okay.
life right there.
All right, nerds, this is the last you're going to get new content until season 5 starts on September 3rd. Between now and then, check out our Nerdstalgia episode next week, nerding out about marching band with Adam. And also now's the time, go follow Patreon if you want all those exclusive early access and being able to join us for live episodes and Dr. Intern Joan goodies throughout the season. And get ready, season 5 is going to be great. Remember to follow us on social media at Nerd Best Friends or NBF Podcast on Blue Sky. Email us, podcast@nerdbestfriends.com. Follow us on YouTube. But most importantly, your biggest call to action, go rate our podcast wherever you are listening to it right now. Go on, give us a rating. I don't care if it's 3, 4, 5 stars. 5 stars is awesome. But give us a rating and get that algorithm working in your Nerd Best Friends' favor.
See you next season.
Let's go, season 5.
Big announcement on Ace.
Try again because my name's not Anais. All right, nerds, this is the last you're going to hear from us before season 3 starts. We have the Nerdstalgia next week and then season 3. I keep saying season 3.
And follow us on OnlyFans where you can see Intern Joe's goodies, apparently.
My instinct area.
Not responsible for that content.
We will cut it out, hopefully.
Thanks for listening. I thought we were done recording.
You never know. We could smoosh it all together. Minus my goodies. We're doing
Stay
good
nerdy,
today.
friends.
Boy, still recording. Show's still not over, Joan.